For decades, Moore's law has been the guiding star of the digital age, predicting that the number of transistors on a microchip would double roughly every 2 years. This relentless pace of innovation has powered everything from the rise of personal computers to the smartphones in our pockets, fueling an unprecedented technological revolution. Each new generation of chips has brought faster speeds, greater efficiency, and new possibilities, transforming the way we live, work, and connect with each other. But deep down, everyone in the industry knew this exponential growth couldn't continue forever. As engineers pushed the boundaries of miniaturization, they were always racing against the fundamental laws of physics. At some point, the size of transistors would become so small that quantum effects, strange behaviors at the atomic level, would make further progress nearly impossible. The end of Moore's law, many believed, was inevitable. That hard limit was thought to be just a few nanometers away. As transistors shrank to the size of just a handful of atoms, the challenges multiplied. Heat, electrical leakage, and quantum tunneling threatened to bring the era of ever-shrinking chips to a close. The industry braced itself for a slowdown, and some even wondered if we were witnessing the end of physics as we know it, at least in the world of semiconductors. Then, out of nowhere, a rumor began to circulate. A whisper from China about a 1-nanometer chip. If true, this would be nothing short of a technological earthquake. The news sent shockwaves through the global tech community, raising eyebrows and sparking heated debates in boardrooms and research labs alike. If this claim holds up, it's not just another incremental step forward, it's a dramatic leap over what was thought to be an unbreakable wall of physics. It would mean that Chinese scientists have found a way to sidestep or even rewrite the rules that have governed chipmaking for decades, opening the door to a new era of innovation. The global semiconductor industry, from giants like TSMC and Intel to countless startups, has poured billions of dollars and decades of research into inching ever closer to the 3-nanometer mark. Each new process node has required breakthroughs in materials science, manufacturing, and design. The race has been fierce, with national pride and economic power hanging in the balance. A 1-nanometer breakthrough would mean that China has solved problems the rest of the world considered unsolvable. It would be a triumph of engineering, a testament to human ingenuity, and a signal that the center of gravity in the tech world might be shifting. The implications are staggering. Whoever leads in semiconductors doesn't just control the future of smartphones and laptops, they hold the keys to artificial intelligence, advanced military technology, and the economic engines of tomorrow. Chips are the new oil, and the race to control them is the defining contest of our time. For years, the United States has used its dominance in chip technology as a powerful geopolitical tool, shaping alliances and restricting rivals. If China truly has leapt ahead, it could flip the script entirely, redrawing the map of global power and influence. Yet for now, the world waits in suspense. Is this the dawn of a new era, or a masterful bluff designed to unsettle competitors? The silence from officials is deafening, fueling speculation and uncertainty. No one wants to be the first to blink. The world is watching, holding its breath, because this single claim could define the rest of the century. The stakes are nothing less than the future of technology, power, and progress itself. The stakes have never been higher. In this high-tech game of brinkmanship, the next move could change everything. Why is 1 nanometer such a big deal? To most people, a nanometer is just an unimaginably tiny number, a billionth of a meter, so small it's hard to even picture. But in the world of semiconductors, reaching the 1 nanometer scale isn't just a milestone. It's a revolution that pushes the very boundaries of physics and engineering. At that scale, you're not just working with materials, you're arranging individual atoms one by one. The width of a single silicon atom is about 0.2 nanometers, so at 1 nanometer you're talking about just a handful of atoms across. Every decision, every imperfection, every stray atom can make or break the entire device. But the real challenge isn't just about size. Transistors this small face a bizarre quantum phenomenon called tunneling. Electrons, which normally stay put behind barriers, start behaving like ghosts, slipping through walls that should be solid. This means that at 1 nanometer the very concept of a switch, on or off, starts to blur, because electrons can leak through even when the transistor is supposed to be off. And then, there's heat. When you cram billions of these minuscule transistors onto a chip, the energy they use and the heat they generate become catastrophic. The chip could literally melt itself from the inside out, long before it ever powers your phone or computer. No fan, no liquid cooling, no clever engineering trick can solve this. It's a fundamental thermal limit, an unavoidable wall that physics itself has built. Manufacturing is another nearly insurmountable barrier. Today's most advanced photolithography uses extreme ultraviolet light with a wavelength of 13.5 nanometers. That's already a technological marvel, but it's like trying to draw a line thinner than your own brush. The light itself is too thick to carve out features just 1 nanometer wide. Imagine trying to paint a single pixel with a broom instead of a fine-tipped pen. The tools simply aren't precise enough, no matter how advanced they seem. Even with the latest breakthroughs, using X-rays or electron beams to etch finer details, the technology is still in its infancy. The process is slow, expensive, and not yet reliable for mass production at the 1 nanometer scale. These three obstacles, quantum tunneling, catastrophic heat, and the limits of lithography, combine to form what experts call the silicon wall. It's a barrier that has stopped even the most advanced chipmakers in their tracks. That's why even giants like TSMC and Samsung, with their vast resources and billions in R&D, only cautiously approach the 2 nanometer mark. Every step closer to 1 nanometer costs billions more, and the risks multiply. So when rumors emerged that China had achieved a 1 nanometer chip, it wasn't just surprising, it was earth-shattering. It challenged not just the industry, but the very laws of physics as we understand them. It was as if someone had found a way to walk through a wall, not just climb over it. The impossible suddenly didn't seem so impossible anymore. That's why the world's attention snapped to the news. Governments, tech companies, and scientists everywhere wanted to know, had someone really broken through the silicon wall? Was the future of technology about to change overnight? In that moment, the impossible seemed within reach. The dawn of a new era in computing was suddenly on the horizon, and the world was watching breathless to see what would happen next. The story didn't start with an official announcement. It began as whispers on Chinese tech forums. In the dim glow of late-night screens, users traded cryptic messages, their words laced with excitement and suspicion. These weren't just idle rumors. They were the digital equivalent of a spark in a dry forest, ready to ignite something much bigger. Anonymous posts claimed a chip, codenamed Dragon's Tooth, had achieved the 1 nanometer milestone, a feat that, until now, belonged to the realm of science fiction. The posts described secretive labs, breakthrough engineering, and a new era for Chinese technology. Screenshots and supposed leaks spread like wildfire, fueling speculation and debate. At first, Western observers dismissed it as online boasting. Tech analysts rolled their eyes, calling it another case of internet hype. After all, the leap from current technology to 1 nanometer chips was enormous. Many believed it was simply impossible with today's tools. But the rumor grew, amplified by state media celebrating China's semiconductor progress. News anchors spoke with pride, hinting at breakthroughs without confirming details. The line between fact and fiction blurred, and the story gained momentum. Tech blogs in Taiwan and South Korea picked it up, and suddenly, industry experts were paying attention. Detailed analyses appeared overnight, dissecting every clue, every technical term, every possible implication. The rumor was no longer just a Chinese internet phenomenon, it was now a regional obsession. The tipping point came when financial news outlets ran headlines asking if China had secretly achieved the impossible. Investors, always alert to disruption, began to worry. Could this be the moment China leapfrogged the West in chip technology? Stock prices of chip giants dipped as investors panicked. Billions of dollars shifted in minutes as uncertainty rippled through the markets. The rumor, once confined to obscure forums, was now moving real money and shaking boardrooms around the world. The rumor escaped the internet and became a market-moving event. News anchors debated its plausibility, while social media exploded with theories and counter-theories. The world was watching, and nobody wanted to be caught off guard. Whether true or not, it created global uncertainty. In Tokyo, New York, and Berlin, executives and policymakers scrambled to assess the risk. The very possibility of a 1 nanometer chip threatened to upend the balance of power and technology. Western governments and intelligence agencies scrambled to investigate. Teams pored over satellite images, trade data, and patent filings, searching for any sign that the rumor might be real. The stakes were enormous. If true, it would mean a seismic shift in global technology leadership. Was this a real leap, or a psychological operation? Some suspected a deliberate campaign to sow confusion and fear, while others wondered if the world had just witnessed a genuine breakthrough. The line between technological progress and information warfare had never been thinner. The rumor forced the world to react, shifting the narrative overnight. Governments convened emergency meetings, companies re-evaluated their strategies, and the media raced to keep up with the story's twists and turns. In a matter of days, a single rumor had changed the global conversation. In the information age, even a whisper can shake the world. The Dragon's Tooth rumor proved that in a hyper-connected world, the boundary between truth and speculation is razor-thin, and that sometimes, the mere suggestion of a breakthrough is enough to send shockwaves across the globe. One theory. China used brute force engineering, not new physics. Blocked from buying the latest EUV machines, China relies on older DUV lithography. By using extreme multi-patterning, layering masks, and etching steps, they could, in theory, create ultra-fine features. But each extra step adds cost, time, and risk of defects, making mass production nearly impossible. The result? Maybe a handful of working chips, but not a commercial revolution. If this is the method, it's a proof of concept, not a threat to TSMC or Samsung's dominance. It's a feat of determination, not a new era. Another theory. China ditched silicon for futuristic 2D materials like graphene. Graphene and similar materials are just 1 atom thick, potentially solving quantum and heat issues. Labs worldwide have made single transistors from these materials, but mass production is a nightmare. No one has built a complex processor from graphene yet. If China cracked this, it would be the materials science breakthrough of the century. More likely it's a small lab demo, not a full chip. Still, even a tiny success here could change everything someday. The most cynical theory? It's all marketing. 1 nanometer may just be a brand, not a measurement. Today's 3 nanometer chips aren't truly 3 nanometers. Node names are marketing tools. China could have made a big leap in performance or density, then labeled it 1 nanometer to grab headlines. No physics-defying breakthrough required, just clever engineering and bold branding. This tactic sows doubt, forces rivals to investigate, and boosts national pride. In the chip war, perception is power. Sometimes a strategic bluff is as effective as a real breakthrough. The rumor's impact was immediate. Economics, military, and psychology all felt the shock. Financial markets wobbled as investors questioned the future of established chip giants. Militaries took notice. Advanced chips are the backbone of modern warfare. US export controls aim to keep China behind. A 1 nanometer leap would obliterate that gap. The psychological effect may be the biggest. The West's sense of technological dominance was shaken. For China, it became a symbol of ambition and resilience. The narrative shifted from, when will China catch up, to, what if China has already surpassed us? Governments and corporations scrambled for answers. The rumor forced the world to confront a future that once seemed impossible. It exposed the fragility of the current tech order. The wake-up call was loud and clear. So is China's 1 nanometer chip a real breakthrough or a masterful bluff? Dismissing it risks underestimating China's ambition and resources. But physics is a stubborn gatekeeper. Quantum and thermal limits don't bend to politics. The marketing theory fits the pattern of information warfare. But this moment is bigger than one chip. It's a turning point in the global tech order. The West is forced to question its assumptions. China's ambition is undeniable. The fact that the world is even debating this is a win for Beijing. The silence from China is strategic, keeping the world guessing. Real or not, the 1 nanometer chip has already changed the game. In the 21st century, the fight for the future is as much about suspense as silicon.